All right, so we're back, but we got a different vehicle today, a little bit different type of video. So today we got the 2002 Mercury Mountaineer here. And I got a problem in it. So I got this head unit because I wanted some Bluetooth in my car. This was my original stereo that I had in here. And this is real nice because it has a volume knob. Well, this thing has these silly buttons. And I don't like those buttons. So I came up with the most complicated solution I could so I could have my volume knob and a sub knob. Let's get into how I did that. So before I had this box in the rest of my system, I used the soundboard I got off Amazon just as just so I could have my volume knobs and all that. But that wasn't good enough. And some of you uncool people are gonna say, why don't you just get one of these $6 things that plug into your cigarette lighter and transmit to your FM stereo? Well, that's boring, that's why. So I'm gonna show you how the cool way to do it. So I had this book lying around and I did some reading up on it. It's called the Handbook for Sound Engineers. So I read through it a little bit. And then what I did was I went onto my computer and started drawing up some schematics. So let's go look at those. So I came over here to my computer, opened up my Windows XP virtual machine, and opened up my PSpice schematic software and started drawing up some schematics. And those turned into this final copy right here that I got printed out of the final product. So I took this and inserted it into this program right here, Easy EDA, which allowed me to make this. So these got sent to me. It took my schematic and made it into this board right here. I needed two, so I got the second one. But then I had another problem because what am I supposed to do with these? Just sit them somewhere? So I used this other program called Craft Cloud, who 3D printed this box for me and sent it to me. And I just got a piece of plastic, Lexan or something, and slapped it on top once my boards were in. But there's also another problem with this. There's no power. So I also did that same process over there and got one of these, made one of these power supplies, which is an isolated power supply, so hopefully I should have no noise. So custom making this thing was real cool because I was able to make this little slot right here so I can enter on some sort of meter, as well as this little hole right here so I could put a fan in here. I made some this hollow inside so I could fit my wires through these holes through here into this right here, which is where my power goes, my input power goes. And then slots in the front so my RCAs and other cables can come out front. And here's a glance at the power supply schematic that I also made. So these are what the parts look like, just like this, just how they were sent, but there's still a little work to do. So let's show you what I did next. Brought the board down here so I could do a little testing with it because I needed to know the exact values I need for my resistors. So I got some of these variable pots right here so I could figure out what I need for it to work best. So I tried a couple different standard pots but realized they didn't work too well, so I got this 4-channel logarithmic tapered pot and it worked pretty well. I also needed some of these chips. These are the Burr Brown 2134s, and apparently they're good ones. So I used those. I just stole them from my basement, and I installed them on my board. They worked pretty well. Let's see what I did next. So this right here is the finalized one I made, and you can see I just turned it on, and you can see my little meter right there. Isn't that cool? That's one of the perks of getting your box custom 3D printed. And you can see how all the RCAs and all the wires can all come out front in these holes. It works pretty good. And you can see the boards there. And then the power supply right there. All right, let's see if this system even works. So I'm gonna play some music, and you can see that controls my volume, and this controls my sub. And that is how I solved my issue of not having this anymore. So if you're interested in the internals of what's back in the car, so right here, this is my amp running my sub. So this is the original Rockford Fosgate amp that I stole from my basement. It was my dad's old one. So I'm using it to power my sub. And then I needed a 4-channel amp to run my speakers. So I got this off Amazon. It's a cheap, trashy one, but speaking of speakers, my factory speakers were some like 6 by 4.5 or something. They were ovals, but I wanted some good round ones. So I had these, I found these Hertz speakers. They work pretty well, but I did have to customize. I'm not gonna take my door panel off, but I had to build a plate that made my speaker hole to hold round speakers, 6.5. And back here, I got the original 6 by 4.5 or whatever speakers, but there's still a bottom at some audio place nearby. They're not great, but they're better than the factory ones. And then I got all my wires back here, which I'll run up into this. And then I got my my sub. It's a 10-inch, and it's from 1992, I believe. So it sounds pretty good. And then right here, I forgot to mention that this is from 1990. So you know it's better than the new ones, don't you? So I was just editing my video, and I realized that you couldn't see this at all because it was so dark in the garage. So, but I was showing you the box I made, the custom built box that I made out of metal to house my pots and some meters. And it's not fully put together yet because I'm still working on it, but you can see the inside has all my junk, all that garbage. But yeah, so I had this in my center console. There's this little tray here, and this is a perfect fit for this little box I made. So I think it looks pretty good. I mean, it got a couple scratches on it. It's been in here for several months, but I think it's a great housing, and it's great to use while you're driving. You can also see my meters, which, let me start the car. So you can see those there, and they don't work currently because I'm still working on it. These you can't really see, but they have a little backlight. They look cool. They don't work yet. Still got some work to do on those. This is still wrong, but people riding the car don't know it don't work. So, but anyways, that is how you take a simple problem and make a very complicated solution, and it worked pretty good. I like this a lot. It's very easy to control while driving down the road. It's just move your little pot there. Works great. But overall, I think this is pretty good. Some people might not like it. Some people may not like the big mess of wires in their trunk. Personally, I kind of like it. I've grown accustomed to it, and I think it's pretty cool. But anyways, thanks for watching. If you like this content, make sure you follow the channel, because I got more stuff like this coming up. And if you want a more in-depth description of all the stuff I did and how I did it, leave a comment down below. I might make another one. And thanks for watching.